Hey, welcome everybody to the first episode of Wheel of Albums. Along with my brother Adam and our friend Jack, I'm Justin, and what we do here is have a great wheel of the 1001 albums you must hear before you die. Somebody spins the wheel, and then the three of us take a deep dive listen to the album for the week, and we converge with our thoughts and opinions on what we thought of that album at the end of the week. For the first album that we spun, well, actually, my brother Adam spun, was Marilyn Manson's 1996 release, Antichrist Superstar. This is an album that, besides The Beautiful People and Tourniquet, which were heavily played on MTV and radio back in the day in 1996, I had never listened to this from front to back. Jack and Adam, what about you guys?
At first, I dreaded listening to this record because I had never heard it full way through.
My initial reaction to the album being released was, wait a minute, is that Marilyn Manson? Can I get a respin?
I had never even once thought about listening to it.
You know, I wasn't excited at first knowing there's over 1,000 albums that we're going to go through, and you know, the first artist that gets spun is the one that all I knew about was Upset Parents a Lot back in 1996 for the first pick. But you know what? You got to move forward. And so, you know, I listened to it and, you know, read up on it. And, you know, I learned a few things about this album.
Reading up on it, I'm guessing it's a concept album. I can't pick up on the concept.
Something I learned about Antichrist Superstar is that it's a concept album and it's really, really long.
Yeah, I found out that this was a concept album too. That was the first thing I never knew. It's broken into 3 different parts, all right? So from what I get, and I'm sure purists would correct me if I'm wrong here, that the first is about how civilization needed a new superstar to follow. And then the second part of the album is how our superstar, dubbed Little Horn, starts as a worm and then blossoms into Mr. Superstar.
The first time listening to the album was really hard to get through, but by the third time, I realized that there were a lot of peaks and valleys to the album and some enjoyable moments.
Yeah, I enjoyed the concept behind Superstar.
The standout songs to me are Beautiful People, which I had heard before, and Mr. Superstar I heard before. Liked them both a lot.
And I love the Reznor influence and the Stooges energy and the Alice Cooper theatrics.
Worm Boy and Little Horn and Crypto Child and The Reflecting God are all really good songs. I didn't know how Nine Inch Nails-ish this was going to sound, and I didn't know how Alice Cooper-ish this was going to sound. A surprising treat for me.
And even the production, too. I mean, it really, you could tell the Nine Inch Nails influence was there for sure, Jack. But it is 1996, and those albums from around that time period, like Adam said, are very, very long. And it can become very challenging, and parts in the midsection of this album were really, really tough to get through for me. All right, so me, Jack, and Adam came up with a system where we rated all the songs on Antichrist Superstar from 1 to 10. Then Adam took the numbers to figure out what our 3 favorite songs were and our least favorite song. We all sort of agreed that our least favorite song here was Kinderfield. And then our top 3, The Beautiful People, number 1, 1996, number 2, and Mr. Superstar is our 3rd favorite. When you crunch all the numbers on the album and our final rating, which is something we're going to look for each album we do, what our cumulative combined rating is going to be. Adam came up with a 6.06 is what his final score was for Antichrist Superstar. Jack had a 5.56, and I had a 5.90, which is a combined rating of 5.83. We'll see how that stacks up against other albums as we go along. But yeah, we were pretty much all in the same boat when it came to numbers for this album.
A surprising treat for me.
All right, so the big question at the end of this, is this album worth listening to before you die? Because it's on the list of albums you should listen to before you die. Adam, what do you think? Antichrist Superstar by Marilyn Manson. Is this album something you should listen to before you die?
The album Antichrist Superstar, in the end, I would say is an album that you don't need to hear before you die unless you're really a fan of that type of music. The song The Beautiful People, on the other hand, is an essential song you should hear before you die, and I could listen to it over and over again. The rest of the album, not so much.
Now I'm going to start calling Adam Worm Boy now because he made me find out about this. Are you on your deathbed? You better hurry up and listen to this.
You know, I am going to lean towards yes. I think you should listen to this album before you die. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would going into this. Is it long? Yes. Are there spots in the middle where I kind of lose interest? Yes. But overall, the concept, the music, I think this is some of the better metal that you're going to hear in the 90s. And if you are a metal fan and a fan of that type of music, then yeah, this is probably something you should listen to before you die. We're going to continue this path down and spin the wheel once again. Jack, what do we have next on Wheel of Albums?
The wheel is spun, and up next is the Triffids Calenture.
Hey, if you have listened to the Triffids or Calenture before, we invite you to listen to it through the next week and then join us next time as we deep dive Calenture by the Triffids. For Adam and Jack, this is Justin. We hope you have a great week, and thanks again for joining us on Wheel of Albums.